right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Be the Fish. We are actually in line for Tim Hortons right now, grabbing Andy and I some coffee. I don't know if you guys have actually seen Andy on the channel just yet, but if you watch the Serious Angler podcast, you obviously know who Andy is. He's my co-host, he's my partner in that, he's my fishing buddy. We are headed to Andy's house. I'm grabbing him coffee right now. We're gonna head over to Andy's house because that's where we kind of have our do-it-mold station, if you will. That's where we pour everything. Couldn't do it at my place. We didn't have the safe like ventilation and everything like that, which Andy does. So we're gonna go over, pour a bunch of jig heads because this week is state championships. You guys have seen a bunch of tournaments that I've filmed this year. I apologize, there's two that I missed that I did not film this year, but the ones that I've been doing pretty well in locally, we have our New York State Championships. And that is this Saturday and Sunday. We got some practice this week, which you guys are gonna see obviously in this video. Today's the practice video, but we're gonna go head over and pour some jig heads because I think an A-rig is gonna play. And obviously we need to stock up on jig heads for that. We'll show you guys which ones we're gonna throw and why we're gonna throw them. And then some football heads, just for like single swimmers and maybe even some kind of spider grubs. So let's go head over there and we'll show you guys how we do it.
So it's a pretty simple process, pretty straightforward to pour this stuff. It definitely makes a world of difference in saving money, and as we all know, we go through fish and tackle pretty fast, so do it molds, you save a lot of money, especially if you throw jig heads, and they have a great lineup of plastics, which we'll get to in some later videos, because we're probably gonna be pouring some for the TOC later this year. But for like jig heads, swim bait heads, A-rigs, all that jazz, this is like the go-to because you can make whatever hooks you want. Like you can make the juice with it because no one out there really makes a really good jig head, and with do it molds you can make what you want. I'm actually grabbing a lighter really fast because we're gonna powder coat some of these, and then we're actually gonna be fast forwarding a couple days on our way to practice for states.
Come and hand them the rod.
All right, guys, we are on the road. You kind of saw a glimpse there. We were pouring some jig heads and such for state championships this weekend. Andy and I got a bunch of that done. Do it molds just makes it super easy. And we are on the road. We're on the road to Keuka Lake here in New York, where is the host to NYKBF state championships. And we're gonna go hang out with our friends over at Morgan Marine, our team over there, one of the best Hobie dealers in the Northeast. And then the next 2 days are practice days. So we're gonna bring you guys along and see if we can't find some winning fish, some winning patterns, winning areas. It's super interesting week because this hits right on that first summer to fall transition where it's like a big cold front. We're kind of going through it a little bit where the morning temps started to really drop, and now it's like the daytime temps are starting to drop with it, and we have our first cold front tomorrow where it's gonna be like a high of 62, gonna be mid 40s in the morning. Gonna need to bundle up in some blackfish gear because I think tomorrow we're probably gonna spend a lot of time looking at the graph and trying to find some offshore fish, because I think these smallmouth are gonna be roaming. They're starting to put on their fall feed, especially these colder temps. They're gonna be moving. So I'm gonna run a lot of main lake points because there's a lot of subtle ones here on this lake that I think that we can target. And I think if we can find a consistent pattern, you know, throwing a Demiki rig, a single swimmer, an A-rig, a top water, and get our limit of say 16 to 18 inch smallmouth, there's some giant green ones that get on docks, but they can be kind of inconsistent. So I think my strategy right now going into this weekend, as of now, and that's always subject to change throughout practice, is start with smallmouth, see if I can figure out an offshore plan, and then by 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock. Try to move shallow for the remaining 3 hours. Hit the docks, throw big mag draft, big glide bait, flip if I have to, and see if we can find one of those big green ones under docks and that live shallow. One more thing I should know about this weekend is the last event obviously being state championships, but this also comes down to who is going to win Angler of the Year. And I still have a good lead going into it, but I don't know if anyone can catch me. But then again, you just obviously don't want to let anybody even have the opportunity. So we're gonna shoot to have a really good day one. Obviously want to have a good weekend, but really just want to close the door on that and see if we can secure Angler of the Year. That'll be pretty cool. So we're gonna get to dinner, and we might see you guys tonight. Like I mentioned earlier, I know this was like a quick kind of update, but we might see you tonight when we go sleep in our truck. We're gonna do some truck camping tonight. We do have an Airbnb for the rest of the weekend with the guys, but tonight we are gonna sleep in the truck. So maybe I'll show you a little bit of that. Either way, we'll talk to you in a bit. All right, we just got dinner with Ryan. Obviously dark now that you can see. Just stopped at a little gas station. Got ice, got some other things. Gonna throw them in the cooler. And Ryan's gonna let me stay at Morgan Marine down in their parking lot. So we're gonna go back, get in the truck, relax a little bit, maybe watch some YouTube, try to get to bed here to get a good hour because we're gonna get up real early. I didn't bring a pillow or sleeping bag, so we're kind of gonna not too prepared right now. We're gonna duffel up on hoodies, I think, because I brought a bunch. So I put stuff in the cooler, and then we're gonna get on the road. Good morning, guys. Ooh, it's cold. It's like 52 degrees right now, which is cold, but I'm like excited that it's cold because I'm sick of sweating, I'm sick of summer. It is about 5 in the morning right now. Sunrise is 6:45. Probably gonna get loaded up here and try to get on the water by 5:45, 6 o'clock, start graphing. I didn't really record anything in the truck last night because we kind of just went right to bed. And there really isn't anything special because, like I said, I forgot my pillow, I forgot my blanket. I literally just bundled up in a hoodie and slept in my driver's seat. Like, it literally wasn't anything crazy. Slept in the truck, gonna go out, get on the water for an all-dayer. Try to stay out till probably a little bit past dinner time. Head back, say hello to the guys at the Airbnb, get settled. Try to get a good night's sleep because last night I did not get a good night's sleep. Gonna be looking offshore for a long time, especially with this cold front coming in. I think these fish are gonna be more reliable. In shallow fish this time of year, especially during this transition, when these cold fronts hit, they're really hard to rely on. Whereas those deep fish are much less affected. So that's the game plan anyway. We're gonna get loaded up here. I'm gonna shut up and go get on the water, and we'll see you guys a little bit later. All right, we are on the water right now. It's too dark to run the GoPros. Kind of be a waste of time for you guys just to stare at the dark abyss. The only reason you can see me right now is because I got my light on my graph up pretty high. It's actually kind of blinding me a little bit, but like I said, we're gonna be graphing for a little while, so there might not be some footage until it's, you know, pretty well daylight here. I'm gonna try to find some more schools. I'm gonna try to find some offshore structure, maybe some grass patches that are a little bit more isolated, and try to cover a lot of ground today. That's the goal we have literally all day long. The days are getting shorter and shorter because we are in that summer to fall transition. So the bite windows should start getting a little bit more maximized for us in terms of these fish should start getting more active now that they start feeling the days getting shorter. So I think if we do find them, we're gonna be able to catch them. So we got a good list of rods here behind us, but just kind of try to keep our mind open and not right off shallow, but make sure we're keeping what we found yesterday honest and seeing if we can't replicate that around the lake today. I'm not. I know you're not. I'm great. Look how our Airbnb down there. That way I ain't gotta drive too far. Put it. Ah! Don't get me wet. I'm here. Dude, that's a good one. Hell yeah. right, guys, it is 6:45. We've already caught, oh, I just lost one right there. Wasn't paying attention. We already caught basically our limit of bass right there. It's just deep grass. Not any good ones. That smallmouth was about maybe 18 inches. A lot of them have been about this size right here. They will only touch the drop shot. They didn't even chase the A-rig. It's kind of interesting, but like something like this is not what a lot of people will be doing here or know how to do. Because I'm using Mega Live for just about all these fish. Seeing them in pods, they're moving a lot. Like they're moving pretty good. I'm able to see them on Mega Live, make the cast over, or even see good clumps of grass on Mega Live and make a super accurate cast. They're only eating the drop shot right now. I'm sure if I threw a football jig, which I'm gonna probably throw in a second, I'm not really worried about catching too many for the pure fact that there's not really many big ones yet. So that's why I'm kind of fishing through to see maybe if there is something I can do to catch a bigger one. That one smallmouth was about 18 inches, which was good, which is weird on an 8-inch robo worm, but we're not complaining right now because we're catching fish. So let's keep going. Let's keep figuring some stuff out. This is pretty fun. Not the size we're after. Oh, where's my flatworm? Well, we started going out deep. I'm so used to wearing shades, I try to put shades back on my face. Went out deep, found a little offshore hump that's got hard bottom, and saw a few fish on side imaging. Oh, he's got some with it too. And casted right over on live and saw some smallmouth here. We got a decent little guy. They're getting tubby. Putting on that fall bag. And it's just, I put Mega Live down and it's just loaded. First pitch over at some that I could see, and it's a good sign. That's another pattern there. Out deep here. See if we can't catch another one. Seems to be a bunch of fish down around here. He had like 3 or 4 at least, I think, with him coming up. We should be able to catch. I'd like to see if I can catch one more and then keep moving on. They're not holding too much. It looks like they're just using this as just to roam. There's a, holy crap. Bait. Oh gosh, there's so many. God. Oh God, he ate on the fall. Please don't be choked. They're the same size. A little bit smaller. I don't think getting these fish to eat is going to be, well, it doesn't seem like getting bites is too difficult. Hopefully that stays the same. better smallmouth. He came all the way up for it. I let it just sit there mid-column and he ate it. These fish are so aggressive right now. That's a good one. It's the best fish of the day so far. Woo! He almost jumped in the boat. That is a good one. Take 5 of those. Oh, he broke me. Dang, I hate breaking fish, man. He got into my rudder. That's what I get for using 6-pound test, and I probably should be. The way they're feeding on a drop shot right now, I probably could be throwing 8 to 10. So time check, it is 8 o'clock. We've already run into a decent amount of fish, and we've honestly haven't been like fishing. Like, it's more kind of been an experiment type of deal where I think if we were fishing, we probably would still be at the first spot catching a bunch of largemouth. Wow, and we did catch that smallmouth. I don't know if there's any more size there or not. That smallmouth we just lost right there was easily the biggest fish of the day so far. That fish was probably 18 and a half, not 19 inches. So there is some really good sign here for size. But like, we're barely fishing for them right now. So it's good. We got a lot of time today still left to break down a bunch of water, and it seems like the zones I'm finding the smallmouth and the zones I'm finding the largemouth, I can replicate so far because I've found a few of each and they're very similar. And that's gonna help me, I think, really dial in these fish around the lake, and I can probably catch them as we go from spot to spot. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was another really good one. This place has got size. I haven't even gotten like to the good stuff yet. They're just roaming. Like, they're like 10 feet below the surface in 50 foot of water, and I'm pitching the drop shot and they're eating it. This is my kind of fishing. This is my style of fishing. This gives me so much confidence right now. I just can't get too excited because we still got 2 days until the tournament. Well, 1 day, but we still got all of today still. All right, guys, it is 9 o'clock. We've caught a decent amount of fish. We figured out a few different spots in addition to yesterday that set up pretty similar. And basically what we're doing now is just graphing along, trying to find some more areas. We're finding some fish that are like kind of set up similar. I'm just not finding the size. Now that I'm kind of getting a feel for what's looking like what, especially on Mega Live, I can kind of just pan and just see what's there now without having to actually try and catch them. So we're gonna keep chugging along here, graphing this grass line, and then hitting each points, trying to find some hard spots, stuff like that. Some of these subtle points that maybe people overlook. So we're gonna keep chugging along, and I'd like to figure out some big fish patterns here besides just smallmouth, like largemouth too. Again, we got a long day. We already made 3 or 4 miles. I want to go at least another 3 or 4 miles down and then cross and come back the 8-ish, which is definitely doable for today. So keep chugging along, see what we can do. Right now we're sitting on a school of bait. You can see on Mega Live and in the 2D, there's some freaking giants that are in here. That are fish that are chasing these bait. Oh yeah. That was fast. First catch of the A-rig. Feels like a good one. Yeah, it is. Oh heck yeah, dude. We figured something out right here. That's a good one. That's a good one. These fish are feeding so good. It's ridiculous. Right in the mouth.
choke that big swim bait. Oh, bigger of the 5. Like, look at that. Look at the dimensions on that thing. Heck yeah. We are getting smoked on this thing. Like, it's kind of nutty, to be honest. This could be a deal if they stay here. This could be a big deal, especially if there's some big ones. Oh God, I just got thumped on the way down. Yep. As soon as it hit the water, that feels big too. Another good one. I hit it on the way down. These fish are pissed. God, these tulip moleheads are sticky. Another good one. I don't know if those are winning fish, but they're fun. Let's say that. Little one. Giant. Oh yeah, it is. All right, we are done with this pile. There's so many fish here, it's ridiculous. That's a dang good one. That is a dang good one, dude. That's the kind we're after right there, baby. Heck yeah. It's a good one. See you later. Alright, we are leaving that place alone because there are so many fish there, it's ridiculous. Alright, so a little update for day 1 of practice. We got offshore pretty dialed right now. Obviously that can be subject to change, but I think the fact that a lot of it is like super hard bottom, like hard bottom humps, super isolated stuff like brush piles and stuff, I feel confident that they're gonna stay, or even could reload. It could still have fish and just have smaller fish. I'm still confident that those places that we found so far are gonna have fish come Saturday. My rotation though, I'm not sure how I want to rotate it just yet, so I'm gonna hit some of the starting spots on my way back, see what those look like in the afternoon, and then if those fish replenish, if bigger fish move in there, maybe try some different techniques to try to provoke a bigger bite. So we had the one decent smallmouth this morning, but didn't really have anything, beyond like a 15, 16 incher. So we're gonna go give that a shot, see where we can kind of wind up there and what we can find out. But we still got a couple miles to go back, so we're gonna run some more points. Those seem to hold a lot of fish, especially suspended fish, and I think that's where I'm gonna have an advantage here with forward-facing sonar, where there's a couple guys that have it, but I feel pretty confident I'm proficient with it. That, I mean, those brush pile fish I was watching the whole clear as day with an A-rig come up on Mega Live. I'm just gonna kind of run some of these points and just see if there's any suspended fish and
and then see if we can catch one or two, just kind of get a gauge on size. But we're getting this pretty dialed to the point where like we can kind of get a gauge of how big these fish are once you see them on Mega Live and kind of how they're set up. You know they're bass, and then from that shape and the size, you can kind of get a gauge of like, that's a bigger fish, it's a smaller fish. We don't have to fish for them, but we're here, might as well, you know, catch one or two, right? So if you guys are liking this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Tell your friends about the channel. Let's grow this thing. Let's go find us some more bass. There are so many fish here, it's not even funny. I'm just throwing drop shot, Berkeley power bait, straight money. I should probably go up bigger, but I'm just not seeing bigger fish swim around on Mega Live. I caught some decent brown ones, but I mean they're eating the drop shot. So I don't see much bigger fish on here. I'm gonna try to go shallower and see if there's some grass to go flip, or maybe some different shallower grass that might have some bigger fish in it in the afternoon. We're gonna see. I'm gonna keep playing around this flat. We still got a lot of time left today. It's almost 3 o'clock. We're gonna try to get off by like 6 or so. Try to find some patterns. Might try some dock stuff, some shallow grass. We'll see. I'm definitely pretty pleased with how today went and how many spots that we have in this area. It's pretty promising for now. I say that. It's just kind of like this offshore shallower grass, and it looks healthy too, which is the nice part. It's not like that crappy string grass. It's a little bit of mix of cabbage and coontail. It's the good stuff. You can see some fish swimming around in it, fish above it, fish suspended. There's the boat that came by us that was catching them like every other cast, cranking. They weren't big ones, but they were cranking at least. That's something different that I have not caught. Well, I hooked one earlier that was on a crankbait, but didn't catch it. That's something I should try as we get shallower up in here. I'm just not worried about catching too many, just for the pure fact that these fish are all small. Well, we just started doing something different. Started flipping some pads. I got to put another SD card in the camera because we've been fishing for so long today. But caught one flipping some pads with a jig. Gonna have a little bit of fun. Probably not gonna be the go-to pattern here, but gonna have a little fun before we head back and get off the water because we gotta get dinner and get ready for tomorrow. Gonna talk to the guys. We'll probably bring around the house. All right, guys, good morning. It is day 2 of practice. It's about 5:30 right now. Got the kayak all loaded up here behind me. We're gonna try a completely different part of the lake to see if what we got going on yesterday is happening around the lake. So we're gonna try to find some similar areas, see if they're setting up, you know, just like the fish in our starting area yesterday. Meant to bring you guys around the house and stuff last night, but we got back. Got talking to all the guys and kind of lost track of time and didn't end up filming anything. So we're here, day 2 of practice. Let's get to it. Well, guys, we actually have a bass. You can't see me, but we have a bass. We have a nice smallmouth on top of it.
don't know if you guys can see that. It's like a 17-inch smallmouth. That's cool. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll try to illuminate it for you. Sweet. There's a lot of fish here too. Right on that grass line too. Oh, that was sick. I watched him come up on Mega Live and eat that. Largemouth. Largemouth. Little guy. I don't know if you guys can see him. 15, 16 incher. It's awesome though. It's a little pattern we got going right now. I watched him come up on Mega Live throwing a Berkeley cane walker. It's a pencil popper. I'm throwing it in I want to say it's like midnight something. It's basically a jet black, which is really good, like low light nighttime type of deal. You always want to throw black. I'll leave the link down to Omnia below. Discount code and everything to get it cheap. Little smallmouth. Big one. That's a big old smallie. Wanted that Demiki rig. It's that Queen Tackle live sonar jig head. That thing is so clutch for Demikian. There we go. It's like a 18-incher. All right, we just got off. Hope practice was productive. Found a lot of fish. Found a bunch of different areas. It's just going to be more of can I find the rotation and get the right bites. That's really what it's going to come down to, is if you can get the right ones, because there's a lot of fish. Everyone's catching fish. People are catching good ones. It's going to be interesting to try to set ourselves apart. I think we have a pretty unique pattern where I think we're fishing much deeper with forward-facing sonar that I don't think other people are really doing right now. We're gonna make the most of it, see what we can do. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and stay tuned for state championships.